Did you know that research has shown that the quality of your social circle can directly improve or reduce your lifespan? Imagine that the people you surround yourself with can improve your life so much so that it is one of the criteria for success, and it can also increase your lifespan, meaning it can make you live longer. However, it also means it may be the reason why you're not successful and also reduce your lifespan or the quality of your life. Knowing this, it is important that we know how to develop such healthy connections, healthy relationships with others. Because guess what? As long as we remain on this earth, we need to have relationships with others, whether it's a romantic relationship or relationships with people at work or just friendships, social relationships. This is why today I'm going to be showing you 10 ways you can start cultivating healthy relationships in your own life. The tips I'm going to be sharing with you are so important that whether you want to use it for friendships, work relationships, or romantic relationships, it doesn't matter. These tips transcends any definition, and it's going to really help you start attracting the right kind of relationships and also equipping you to become the kind of person that attracts the right kind of relationships into your life. Like I tell people, relationships have saved me over and over again. Relationships have put me in different spaces that I probably would never have been able to get into. Relationships have been a source of strength and support to me. And I want so many people to start learning how to cultivate those kind of relationships, because the truth is, even though we all need people, we don't need everybody, and not every relationship is healthy. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 tips that you can start putting into practice that will help you cultivate more healthy relationships in your own life and also attract the right people into your life. Let's go. Number one, be polite. A lot of us are so impolite. Say please, say thank you. It really doesn't cost anything. But guess what? You could miss out on so many connections and opportunities in life simply because you do not have the right relationships or just that you're impolite. Some of my best relationships that have been instrumental to my growth and development in life have been formed by relationships that's probably started just by politeness. It could start with maybe someone reaching out to you for some reason and you just politely answer. It doesn't mean that you must always agree with what the person is saying, but just that sense of politeness, just that having that decorum, saying please, saying thank you, gives you an opportunity to connect with people on a deeper level than just the surface, and then everybody goes their way. So, while it is important to be polite, please be polite to everyone. I've seen this happen over and over again. Many people are only polite to people they feel they can get something from, or people that have some status, and then you see them being rude to everyone else. But guess what? Sometimes the person you're being rude to that you feel does not have the social status that is required for your politeness could just be the one person who could stand between you and what it is that you want. There are so many stories of people who go to the office and maybe they are rude to the customer service or the person at the door or something, and somehow that person ends up ensuring they do not meet the person who they actually did come to see. I've had different stories like that. So if you close up yourself and be polite or nice only to those who you think matter in society or can help you get what it is that you want, who knows what else it is you're missing out on simply because of your attitude and because you don't know that there is so much more out there. Number two tip, be willing to help others. We live in a world where everybody says, focus on yourself, focus on yourself. And I preach it too. However, I want you to know that it is also important to sometimes look out of yourself, look beyond yourself to the next person. Be willing to offer help. It doesn't have to be a lot of help, it doesn't have to be your money, it doesn't have to be a particular kind of help all the time. Just be willing to give a helping hand here and there. I have a friend who met someone who eventually became a governor simply by rendering some help to him. This man had come into their office, was trying to get some information, and the people that were supposed to be attending to him, probably, he wasn't dressed as they would expect. They were not really paying attention to him. He was in a higher position of authority, but he was passing by and saw the way the man was being treated, and he did not like it. He went there, called them to order, and asked the man, "Oh, how can I help you?" And did. And the man took notice of that, because guess what? People may forget what you tell them, but they never forget how you make them feel. If you make people feel crappy, guess what? They are going to remember you as a very crappy person. So he rendered just the help, that didn't take much of his time, and he just rendered help to that man. And eventually, he had a long term relationship with that man that changed his entire life. And he usually tells me, he said, "Natalie, this man did not look like it. I did not know who he was. He just stepped in, and I just wanted to help because I saw the way things were going, and I attended to him. It wasn't really his job in that point, but he went out of his way to do what he could to help make the man's life a little better, at least in that time." So it is so important that wherever we are, we make the world go round. The kind deeds, kind acts make the world go round. It makes people feel worthy, makes them feel loved, makes them feel lovable. And this thing has a way of coming back to us. But if you go around making people feel some kind of way, it will also come back to us. Be willing to help. It doesn't have to take much time, it doesn't have to take a lot of resources, but just have that willingness in little ways. It may be to help someone cross the road, it may be to help someone with an errand, it may just be to reach out in some way, to offer a kind word. While it is good to focus on our lives, but guess what? We actually all do need each other. The third tip is be approachable and friendly. A lot of us are so closed up. We're so closed up that even if someone wants to talk to us, they see the way our face is and they just turn the other way. They're like, "Mm-mm, nah, this lady or this guy is so closed up, I cannot talk to him." And probably you're not a closed up individual, but just you look that way, right? You're giving off that energy, you're giving off that sense, and then people don't want to come around you. It's actually a thing. Another thing with being approachable is this: when you're going the wrong way, people are able to talk to you. I know of some people out there who are making a fool of themselves in different ways. But guess what? Nobody's talking to them. And why is that? Because these people are not approachable. Another thing, the invent of social media has made people feel like, being unapproachable is the new cool. But the problem with that is that you'll be going the wrong way and nobody's able to tell you, because, no one wants wahala, no one wants trouble. Nobody wants more problems on their head, right? Now, these tips are so important whether you are introverted or not. I'm an introvert to the core. I'm also an empath. So I am very careful being in other people's energy fields and in different spaces. And that means my ability to connect with people, or the amount of opportunities I have to connect with people, are not as many as probably an extrovert. However, I've been able to develop some really healthy and amazing connections over the years. Some of them through social media, or should I say most of them through social media. I've gotten several opportunities, jobs, money, and most of it came through practicing these tips that I am sharing with you. The fourth tip: compartmentalize. Now, this particular tip deserves an entire video of its own. But I'm going to do my best to break it down in a short time so you understand the importance and how to compartmentalize your relationships. Have you ever met someone, or you know someone who met someone, and in a few days, few probably, well, weeks, sometimes a few days, sometimes a few hours, you have already told the person your life history, you've told them everything about you. Probably you even met them at work, and before you know, they know who you're dating, they know where your house is, they know everything about you in such a short period of time. That's unhealthy. It is important that we learn to compartmentalize our relationships because it is extremely healthy and saves us a whole lot of trouble and stress. Your work relationships should be your work relationships. They don't have to become personal relationships. There are certain things that you tell your friends, your close friends, that you don't go about saying in your workspace. There are certain things you tell your close friends that you will not tell your business partners. It is not healthy to mix it all up. And I know most often we ladies, we tend to do this a lot. Compartmentalize your relationships, compartmentalize the people in your life. There are certain people who are only for going out. There are certain people you just hang out with them and don't do anything more than that because your values do not align. You do not believe in the same things. You no longer have certain expectations. If I have a close friend, I have certain expectations from her. I shouldn't have the same expectations from a work friend. I remember reading something about a lady who invited people from work for her wedding and not a single person showed up. And I think those were the only people she invited, and probably the wedding, I can't remember the full story, but I think the wedding was practically empty because the people she called friends were not, they were nowhere to be found on her wedding day. Those people did not regard her as a friend. They saw her as a colleague and she saw them as friends, and she did not compartmentalize that relationship. So guess what? She ended up disappointed, ended up, probably embarrassed on her wedding day, planning for over how many people, and not a single one of them showed up. I'm not saying that someone at work cannot become your close friend, but it's going to grow, right? There are also certain friends that you should sit down and talk business with, but you should not sit down and talk relationship with. There's certain friends that you should discuss relationship matters with, but nothing about business. There are certain friends that you should share your dreams with, and there are certain friends you should not tell anything about your plans. There are certain friends that you can share, oh, this is what's going on in my family, these are the good things that are happening with me, and there are certain friends you should not. You may probably need them for something else, right? Maybe there are stuff you guys do together that is also important. You don't have to discard those friends. They are important, they are serving a purpose, but they are not taking the space that someone in your inner circle should take. We all should have an inner circle, those people we can be vulnerable with, those people that we know that when we call on them, they will answer us. What a lot of us have is that we have friendships where we're always the ones giving, we're always the ones doing, we're always the ones helping, and the other person is not reciprocating. Why is that happening in your life? Why is that happening in your relationship? It's probably because you did not compartmentalize. You did not ask yourself, does this person also see me the way I see them? Okay, you are probably having expectations from the wrong people, and you have not decided, okay, this is where this person fits in all of this. The fifth tip to have healthy relationship is communicate. Oh, this is so important. It is so important that you have communication in your relationships. Without it, everything is bound to fail. It is important that you communicate how you feel, what you like, what you don't like, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, because the other person is not a mind reader. And also, it is important for you to communicate your boundaries and your expectations or your value systems to the other person. And this also helps you trim your friendship so that those who do not respect your boundaries, those who do not align with what you believe, can, move away from you, and you can now attract the right kind of people. Because if you keep holding space for the wrong people, if you're in your life, if you keep giving excuses, you don't say how you feel, you don't say what it is they did to you that you don't like, if you keep doing that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract more of such relationships where you have to suppress yourself. it is so important that you learn to communicate exactly how you feel in your relationships. Are you enjoying this video? Are you learning something? Is this something that is insightful and useful to you? If you are, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share with someone. Doing this will help me create more content for you, will help me stay in touch with you, and will help me grow this channel so more people can also learn all these wonderful and amazing tips that we are sharing on this channel. Let's keep going. We have 5 more tips to go.